measuring my neck width, which is 3, and then my neck depth. After that, I drew a curved line and went ahead to mark out my shoulder measurements, then the shoulder slope. I've taken my armhole measurements, so what I'm doing now is I'm measuring out my bust point, my under bust, and I'm trying to connect the points together. And this is me measuring out my waist and then my hip line down to the hemline. Afterwards, I'm just going to connect every point with my ruler to make out a straight line. So while I'm still connecting the points together, I would like you to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel, and you can drop your comments in the comment section below. Thank you. Get the midpoint of your armhole and go in by 0.7 inch. I decide to go out from my shoulder measurement by ½ inch to give it this pointy look. Thereafter, I took my bust circumference measurement and went ahead to take the nipple to nipple measurement. From the under bust, I went out by 2 for the princess bustier. Then I connected all the points together, as you can see. From the midpoint of the armhole, I marked ½ inch on both sides of the midpoint, that's making 1 in total, and then I drew a curved line through, then extended the line by 1½ inch. I went down by 4½ inch towards the hip line and connected from the curved parts to the point where I marked 4½. I took my under bust measurement and see me adding the allowance to it, which is 1.5 inches, and this is my waist measurement. I'm also doing the same thing there, adding my allowance to every part of it, and then also at my hip line all the way to the hemline. I'm connecting all the parts that I have measured out, and that is my hip line. See me draw the curve there, and the hemline. After connecting all the necessary points, I would add another paper to this pattern that we have here, so that I can draft out the front piece. As you can see from what we have in the picture, the front piece that lays over the gown. I'm extending all the lines to this new paper. Then at the top, I would go out by 1.5 inch, and at the bottom I will go in by 1.5 inch to give us that slanted look. Then at the base, I drew a curved line to connect to the side of the gown. So the distance is 3 inches. That's the distance between the hemline of the gown and that of the new added paper where the curve was created. I'm gonna ahead to cut out the slanted part and then place the full part of the paper beneath the main drafted pattern. I'm using my tracing wheel to trace out all the necessary lines that I want to appear onto the pattern that is beneath this one on top. You can make use of transparent paper if that is fine by you, and you can also make use of tracing wheel. However method you choose, you get the same results. So if you like this video, do not forget to subscribe, hit the like button, share this video. You can turn on your notification bell so whenever we post useful videos like this, you'll be among the first set of people that will get our video. And we want to hear from you. We want you to drop your comments, give us your feedback in the comment section. I'm just trying to highlight all the parts that I have traced so that it will be very visible. After highlighting all those areas, I just went ahead to cut through the markings to complete this pattern. I use princess bustier for this pattern, but it's optional. You can make use of any bustier of your choice to make your own pattern, so long it's gonna give you the results that you want. It's also important you stay tuned to see how I cut this princess bustier. You see the way the scissors is going. so that you don't cut that part wrongly when you are making yours. Remember, I took 2 inches away from the under bust to create that curve. That 2 inches that I removed, I added it to the under bust measurements. That is, if you're using under bust measurements 7.5, you just add 2 to it, making 9.5, and then your 1.5 inch allowance. Now to the back piece, I've just measured my shoulder slope and then my armhole. So I'm just going to rule out all the points that I have marked and go ahead to measure my neck width and my neck depth. So I'm just going to draw a curved line to connect the points that I have measured. I used 1 inch for my neck depth and 3 inches for my neck width. So I've drawn my shoulder slope, and this is for my armhole. So you just divide your armhole by 2 and then you go out by 0.5. Remember, for the front I went out by 0.7, so yeah, you'll be doing 0.5 for the back, and I also added 0.5 to my shoulder slope, and it's also optional. Then I marked my bust measurements, which I divided by 4, and drew a curved line, ensuring I touch all the necessary points that I have marked out. After that, I just went on to mark my under bust, my waist measurements, and the same way I did for the front piece, I'm just repeating that for the back piece. So it's very simple. So I will just rule them out, so to know which point is which, so when I'm taking my measurements, I'll be able to take them accurately. I'm trying to label each line so that you can understand which line is the under bust, which line is the waist, and which line is the hip line, you know, and so on. After labeling, I started taking out the measurements on the paper, and then I add 1.5 inches as my seam allowance too. So from the waistline, I'll be taking 1 inch for my dart measurements, and from the center back I would go in by 0.7. You can go in by 0.5, and those measurements that you have taken, you're going to add them to your waist measurements. Afterwards, I went ahead to take my nipple to nipple measurements so that I can make my darts from that measurement. Then from my chest line, I came down by 1 inch. So I'm just going to draw a straight line to connect all of the points together. Then from the waist line, I'm going to measure ½ inch from both sides of the line, and then I'm just going to connect that. I came down by 1 inch, so your dart will not be touching the chest line directly, as you can see. So when making yours, don't forget to add your dart measurements to your waist measurements. So see what I did. I measured the space the dart took from the under bust, and I added that to my under bust measurements as well, so it would balance well when I want to sew. I want to snatch the under buttock area, so I'm going to go in by 1 inch, and I'll add that to my measurement like I did, and I'm just going to draw a curved line to connect with the 0.7 inch that I took from the waist measurement. You can see what it looks like. To get the length of your under buttock, you just have to measure from your waist to your under buttock. So we can go ahead and cut this off. But while I was cutting this off, I discovered that I did not extend the under bust line to my bust seam allowance. So that is what I'm doing right now. So just go ahead and cut this off and then transfer it to my fabric. So this is my 1.5 inch for the seam allowance. I'm trying to outline this so you can see it clearly. When you want to transfer this to your fabric, all you have to do is to add your zip allowance, because I didn't add that to this paper. So you can just add your 1 inch for zip allowance, or 1.5, however the number of inches you want to use, it's up to you. Next is the sleeve. I went down by 4.5 inches, and I'm just going to mark my armhole and connect the points together. And then I'm going to draw a diagonal line and divide the diagonal line into 2. Once that is done, I'll just go ahead and mark the midpoints and draw curved lines, as you can see. I'm just taking my sleeve length measurement, and I'm going to rule that out. So this is the midpoint of my sleeve. After identifying the midpoint, I'm going to mark the circumference of that part, or divide it by 2, and I'm going to mark it out. So just take down all the necessary measurements and add the allowance to them. That's your seam allowance, and then you just go ahead and connect all the points together. Do not forget to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. If you have any questions, please, you can drop them in the comment section below, and you can also turn on your notification bell to get instant updates on our videos whenever we post them. Thank you so much for watching this video and for staying to this very moment. It means a lot. After cutting, all you just have to do is to transfer these patterns to your fabric, take them to the sewing machine, and get that dress done.